Well, thank you very much. As you know, we passed the continuing resolution in the Republican House today. It was an amazing vote, actually. It showed we want to keep things going and going properly. It was good for a lot of reasons. The Republicans want to keep government open. But in the Senate, we have 53 Republicans total, and we need 60 votes. That means we need Democrat votes. And if they don't get everything that they want, all these things that they want that are proven so badly, they want to close our government down.
The threat of a U.S. government shutdown surged as the Senate rejected a short-term funding bill to keep federal agencies operating after September 30th and then left town for a week-long break. Lawmakers voted 44-48 against the short-term funding measure that would have extended government funding to November. 21. The bill faced strong opposition from Democrats who demanded more money for health care subsidies and Medicaid funding. Republicans said they could vote again on September 29, just a day before current funding for federal agencies expires. Senate Majority Leader John Thune blamed Democrats for pushing the country closer to a shutdown by rejecting the bill.
Obviously, I think you've heard from the other side already, but clearly we had a couple of votes today, neither of which succeeded, but this isn't the last vote that we're going to have on keeping the government open. There will be an opportunity for Democrats to vote on a bill that has already passed the House of Representatives, that when passed in the Senate can go to the President's desk and fund a continuing resolution to keep the government open and give us another 7 weeks or so to complete the appropriations process. We think that's the right way to do this. There were 13 such opportunities the Democrats had when President Biden was in the White House, where we did short-term, clean, continuing resolutions. The suggestion by the Democrats that somehow they ought to be able to hijack a continuing resolution to attach $1 trillion of policy and cut things that we just funded a short few weeks ago, like rural hospitals, is completely out of any sort of historical context of what continuing resolutions have been used for in the past. The CR is simply a means to an end. It is a way to fund the government until you have an opportunity to do the appropriations process. We've said all along, we want to have an appropriations process that restores and returns to what the Senate used to do, and that is have bills marked up by the Appropriations Committee, reported to the floor, where they're open to an amendment process, and members from both sides can have their voices heard. The Democrat leader, Senator Schumer, is accustomed to writing bills in his office behind closed doors. That's not the way we think is the best way to operate a government and the best way to keep our government agencies funded. So we're prepared when we get back to have a vote on a bill already passed by the House, be ready to be signed by the President. All it takes is a handful of Democrats to join the Republicans in keeping the government open and funded, and to ensure that we have a chance to get the appropriations process completed in the way in which it was intended in the first place.
Democrats argued the proposal ignored their demands for expanded Obamacare subsidies and restored Medicaid cuts. Prior to the Senate vote on the House proposal, an alternative short-term funding bill led by Senate Democrats also failed in a 47-45 vote. The Senate needs 60 votes to pass a funding bill. Congress has until September 30 to pass a funding proposal to avert a government shutdown. Congress has repeatedly struggled to pass spending bills, with partisan fights often raising the risk of shutdowns. The rejected measure also included $88 million to protect lawmakers and officials after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Only 43 Republicans and 1 Democrat, John Fetterman, voted for the plan, far short of the 60 votes needed in the Senate. 2 Republicans, Lisa Murkowski and Rand Paul, joined Democrats and independents in opposing the GOP-backed proposal. Absences also plagued Republicans, with 8 members not voting, weakening their chances of passing the stopgap bill. The House had already passed the bill earlier, approving it narrowly by a 217 to 212 vote in the Republican-controlled chamber. That House-passed plan extended health care programs, delayed Medicaid cuts, and maintained telehealth flexibilities. But Senate Democrats rejected it, saying Republicans refused to negotiate and simply pushed through their own version. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump told reporters a shutdown was possible, saying Democrats left him no choice but to keep pressing talks. He added that the U.S. could very well end up with a closed country for a period of time if no deal is reached soon.
Well, thank you very much. As you know, we passed the continuing resolution in the Republican House today. It was an amazing vote, actually. It showed we want to keep things going and going properly. It was good for a lot of reasons. The Republicans want to keep government open. But in the Senate, we have 53 Republicans total, and we need 60 votes. That means we need Democrat votes. I want to thank Senator John Fetterman. He wants to keep the country open. We're doing so well as a country. We're doing probably better than ever before. If you look at the stock market and other indicators, we have tremendous investment coming in, record investment coming in. Everything's going well, but the Democrats are unhappy about that because they don't want it to go well. I think they actually dislike our country greatly. So they want to shut down the country. They want to have open borders. They want to stop the fighting of crime, where we've been very successful. The D.C., as you know, Washington, D.C. is it's a hot place right now. Everyone's having dinners. They're going out all over. There's very little crime. They haven't seen numbers like this in many, many years. And other places, as you know, we're going into Memphis. We'll soon be going into Chicago. We've already had people out there and in there, and FBI's been there. We've brought the numbers down, but we're going to be bringing them down a whole lot. But I guess they want crime and we fight crime, and it's a pretty big difference. They want to have men play in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. And if they don't get everything that they want, all these things that they want that are proven so badly, they want to close our government down. We're not going to let bad things happen to our country. We're not going to approve things that we shouldn't be approving. Just today, the House Democrats voted against condemning the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. Who could vote against that? The condemning, all they're saying, please condemn the assassination of a human being. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. Remember this, we had an election a very short time ago. Republicans won presidential. We won the popular vote by a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the Electoral College by a lot. We won most U.S. counties in a total landslide. So we won most. It's a very big statistic. We won the counties in a number that I don't believe has been hit before, 2,600 counties versus 525 counties for the Democrats. So the Democrats really should start respecting what takes place at the voter booth. In many cases, it's not a voter booth because they have mail-in voting, which is a very corrupt situation. But despite that, we won in a landslide. And we have to remember, when you win the election, elections have consequences. So we'll continue to talk to the Democrats, but I think you could very well end up with a closed country for a period of time. And we'll take care of the military, we'll take care of Social Security, we'll take care of the things that we have to take care of. A lot of the things that Democrats fight for, which in many cases aren't very good things, will not be able to be paid. So we'll watch and see how they do with that. They'll have to handle their constituents pretty carefully. So we're proud to announce that we won the House. We did fine in the Senate, but we need 60 votes. So we have 53 senators, and we need 60 votes. That means the Democrats have to vote.